Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to Deuteronomy 2 today, Proverbs 8 and Psalm 135. Let's get started. Then we turned and journeyed into the wilderness in the direction of the Red Sea, as the Lord told me. And for many days we traveled around Mount Seir. And the Lord said to me, You have been traveling around this mountain country long enough. Turn northward and command the people. You are about to pass through the territory of your brothers, the people of Israel who live in Seir, and they will be afraid of you. So be very careful. Do not contend with them, for I will not give you any of their land. No, not so much as for the sole of the foot to tread on, because I have given Mount Seir to Esau as a possession. You shall purchase food from them with money, that you may eat, and that you shall also buy water from them with money, that you may drink. For the Lord your God has blessed you in all the work of your hands. You need to go through this great wilderness. Since 40 years the Lord your God has been with you, and you lack nothing. So we went away from our brothers, the people of Esau who live in Seir, away from the Arab road from Elath and Ezingeb. Then we turned and went into the direction of the wilderness of Moab. And the Lord said to me, Do not harass Moab or contend with them in battle, for I will not give you any of their land for a possession, as I have given off to the people of Lot for a possession. Now rise up and go over to the brook Sarah. So we went over to the brook Sarah, and the time from our leaving Kadesh Barnea until we crossed the brook Sarah was 38 years, until the entire generation that is men of war had perished from the camp, and as the Lord had sworn to them. For indeed the hand of the Lord was against them, to destroy them from the camp until they had perished. So as soon as all the men of war had perished and were dead among the people, the Lord said to me, Today you are to cross the border of Moab at Ar, and when you approach the territory of the people of Ammon, do not harass them or contend with them. I will not give you any of the land of the people of Ammon as a possession, and they have given it to the sons of Lot for a possession. Rise up, set out on your journey, and go over to the valley of the Arnon. Behold, I have given into your hands Sihon the Amorite, the king of Heshbon, and his land. Begin to take position, contend with him in battle. This day I will begin to put the dread and fear of you on the peoples who are under the whole heaven. You shall hear the report of you, and shall tremble and be in anguish because of you. So I sent messengers from the wilderness of Kedemoth to Sihon the king of Heshbon with words of peace, saying, Let me pass through your land. I will go only by the road, and I will turn aside neither to the right nor to the left. You shall sell me food for money that I may eat, and give me water for money that I may drink. And let me pass through on foot, as the sons of Esau who live in Seir, and the Moabites who live in Ar did for me. So I go over the Jordan into the land that the Lord our God is giving to us. Sihon the king of Heshbon would not let us pass by. And the Lord your God hardened his spirit, and made his heart obstinate, that he might have to give him into your hand. As he is this day. And the Lord said to me, Behold, I have begun to give Sihon and his land over to you. Begin to take possession, that you may occupy his land. And Sihon came out against us, in all the people, to battle at Jahaz. And the Lord our God gave him over to us, and we defeated him and his sons and all his people. And we captured all his cities at that time, and devoted to destruction every city, men, woman, and children. And he left no survivors. And the livestock we took as spoil for ourselves. And the plunder of the seas that we captured, from a roll which is from the edge of the valley of the Arnon, and from the sea that is in the valley as far as Gilead. There was not a sea too high for us. The Lord our God gave it all into our hands. Only to the land of the sons of Ammon you did not draw near, that is, to all the banks of the river Jabbok and the cities of the hill country, whatever the Lord our God had forbidden us. And we turned and went up to the way to Bashan, and Og king of Bashan came out against us. He and his people to battle at Edrei. And the Lord said to me, Do not fear him, for I have given him and all his people and his land into your hand, and you shall do to him as you did to Sihon, king of the Amorites, who lived at Heshbon. So the Lord our God gave into our hand Og, the king of Bashan, and all his people, and we struck him down here until we had no survivor left. When we took all the cities at that time, there was not a city that we did not take from them. 60 cities, the whole region of Argob, the king of Og and Bashan. All these cities were fortified with high walls, gates, and bars, besides many unwalled villages, and we devoted them to destruction. As we did to Sihon the king of Heshbon, devoting to destruction every city, men, women, and children. All the livestock and spoil of the cities we took as our plunder. So we took the land at that time out of the hand of the two kings of the Amorites, who were beyond the Jordan, and on the valley of the Arnon to Mount Hermon, the C.Jun, and all the cities of the tableland and all Gilead and all Bashan, as far as Salcah and Edrei, cities of the kingdom of Og and Bashan. When we took possession of this land at that time, I gave to the Reubenites and the Gadites the territory beginning at Arol, which is on the edge of the valley of Arnon, and half the hill country of Gilead with its cities, the rest of Gilead and all Bashan, the kingdom of Og, that is all the kingdom of Argob, I gave to the half tribe of Manasseh. To Machir I gave Gilead, and to Reubenites I gave, and the Gadites I gave the territory from Gilead, as far as the valley of the Arnon, to the middle of the valley is the border, as far as over the river Jabbok, the border of the Amorites. The Araba also with the Jordan as the border from Chinnereth as far as the sea of the Amber, the salt sea under the slopes of Pisgah and Bees. And I commanded you at that time, saying, The Lord your God has given you this land to possess, when all your men of valor shall cross over armed, before you both the people of Israel. And they are white, your little ones, your livestock shall remain in the cities I have given you, till the Lord gives rest to your brothers as to you. And they shall occupy the land that the Lord your God gives them beyond the Jordan. And each of you may return to his possession with which I have given you. And I commanded Joshua at that time, Your eyes have seen all that the Lord your God has done to these two kings. So will the Lord do to all the kingdoms into which you are crossing. Shall not fear them, for it is the Lord your God who fights for you. And I pleaded with the Lord at that time, and saying, O Lord God, you have only begun to show yourself in your greatness and your mighty hand. For God is there on heaven or on earth who can do such works and mighty acts as yours. Please let me go over and see the good outland and beyond the Jordan, and that good country and my band. And the Lord was angry with me, and because he would not listen to me. And the Lord said to me, Enough from you, do not speak to me of this matter again. Go up to the top of his gate and lift up your eyes westward, northward, and southward, and eastward, and look at it with your eyes, for you shall not go over this Jordan. I charged Joshua and encouraged and strengthened him. But he shall go about the head of this people, and he shall put them in possession of the land that he shall see. There are men in the valley opposite Beth people. And now it is, I listen to the statutes and rules that I am teaching, and do them, that you may live and go and take possession of the land that the Lord, the God of your fathers, is giving you. And you shall not add to the word that I command you, nor take from it, that you may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, that I command you. Your eyes have seen what the Lord did at Baal Peor, what the Lord your God destroyed from among you all the men who followed the Baal Peor. But you held fast to the Lord your God But you held fast to the Lord your God all alive today. See, I taught you statutes and rules as the Lord my God commanded me, that you should do them in the land that you are entering to take possession of it. Keep them and do them now, for there will be your vision and your understanding in the sight of the peoples, who, when they hear all these statutes, will say, so this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Well, what great nation is there that has a God so near to it as the Lord our God is to us, whenever we call upon him? And what great nation is there that has statutes and rules so righteous as all this law that I set before each day? And I take care and keep it so diligently, lest you forget the things that your eyes have seen, unless they depart from your heart all the days of your life. Make them known to your children and your children's children. Now on the day that you stood before the Lord your God at Horeb, the Lord said to me, Now the people to me, that I may let them hear my words, so that they may learn to fear me all the days that they live on the earth, and that they may teach their children. So then he came near and stood at the foot of the mountain, while the mountain burned with fire to the heart of heaven, wrapped in darkness, cloud, and gloom. And the Lord spoke to you out of the midst of the fire. You heard the sound of words, but saw no form. There was only a voice, and he declared to you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, as the 10 Commandments, and he wrote them on 2 tablets of stone. And the Lord commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and rules, that you might do them in the land that you are going over to possess. Therefore watch yourselves very carefully, since you saw no form on that day. On the day that the Lord spake to you in the midst of the fire, beware lest you act corruptly by making a carved image for yourself, in the form of any figure, the likeness of a male or female, the likeness of any animal that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged bird that flies in the air, the likeness of anything that creeps on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the water under the earth. And beware lest you raise your eyes to heaven, when you see the sun and the moon and the stars, all the host of heaven, you be drawn away and bow down to, and serve them. Things that the Lord your God has allotted to all the peoples under the whole heaven. As the Lord has taken you and brought you out of the iron furnace out of Egypt, to be a people of his own inheritance, as you are to this day. Furthermore, the Lord was angry with me because of you, and he swore that I would not cross the Jordan, and that I should not enter the good land that the Lord your God has given you for an inheritance. I must die in the land, but I must not go over the Jordan. And you shall go over and take possession of that good land. Take care lest you forget the covenant of the Lord your God, which he has made with you, and make a carved image, the form of anything that the Lord your God has forbidden you. For the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God. And your father, children, and youth, and your children's children, have grown old in the land. If you act corruptly by making a carved image in the form of anything, and by doing what is evil in the sight of the Lord your God, so as to provoke him to anger, I'll call heaven and earth to witness against you today, and you will soon utterly perish in the land that you are going over the Jordan to possess. You will not live long in it, but will be utterly destroyed. The Lord will scatter you among the peoples, and you will be left few in number among the nations, that the Lord will drive you. And there you will serve gods of wood and stone, work of human hands, that neither see nor hear, nor eat nor smell. But from there you will seek the Lord your God, and you will find it. If you search after him with all your heart, with all your soul, when you're in tribulation, search after. When you are in tribulation, and all these things come upon you in the latter days, you will not return. You will return to the Lord your God and obey his voice. For the Lord your God is a merciful God. He will not leave you or destroy you or forget the covenant with your fathers that he swore to. But ask now the days that are past with joy before you, since the day that God created man on the earth, and ask not from one end of heaven to the other, whether such a great thing or as this has ever happened or was ever heard of. Did any people ever hear the voice of any God, but God speaking out of the midst of the fire that is you and still live? Or has any God ever attempted to go and take a nation from himself in the midst of another nation by trials, by sign, by wonders, and by war, and by a mighty hand and an outstretched arm, and by great deeds of terror, all which the Lord your God did for you in Egypt before your eyes? To you illustrate, that you might know that the Lord is God. There is no other besides him. Out of heaven he let you hear his voice, and he might just be near, and on earth he only let you see his great fire. And you heard his words out of the midst of the fire, because he loved your fathers and chose their offspring after them, and brought you out of Egypt with his own presence, by his great power, driving them out before you, nations greater and mightier than you. to bring you in, to give you their land for an inheritance, as it is this day. Know therefore today, and lay it to your heart, that the Lord is God in heaven above and on the earth beneath. There is no other. Therefore you shall keep his statutes and his commandments, which I command you today, and it may go well with you and with your children after you, and that you may prolong your days in the land that the Lord your God is giving you for all time. And Moses set apart 3 cities in the east beyond the Jordan, that the manslayer might flee there. And you may kill his neighbor unintentionally, without being at enmity with him in time past. You may flee to one of these cities and save his life. But as in the wilderness, on the tableland of the Reubenites, Ramoth and Gilead for the Gadites, and Golan and Bashan for the Manassites. This is the law that Moses said before the people of Israel. These are the testimonies, the statutes, the rules which Moses spake to the people of Israel when they came out of Egypt. Beyond the Jordan, in the valley opposite Beth Peor, in the land of Sihon the king of the Amorites, who lived at Heshbon, they immersed in the people of Israel to fear when they came out of Egypt. And they took possession of the land, and the land of Og the king of Bashan, 2 kings of the Amorites who lived to the east, beyond the Jordan, from Arah, which is on the edge of the valley of Garden, as far as Mount Seir, together with all the Arabah on the east side of the Jordan, as far as the sea of the Arabah, under the slopes of Pisgah. And Moses summoned all Israel and said to them, Hear, O Israel, the statutes and the rules that I speak in your hearing today, and you shall learn them, and be careful to do them. The Lord our God made a covenant with us in Horeb. Not only as our fathers did the Lord make this covenant, but with us who are all of us here alive today. The Lord spoke to you face to face and the mountain out of the midst of the fire. And I stood before between the Lord and you at that time, to declare to you the word of the Lord. But you were afraid of the fire, and you did not go up on the mountain. He said, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness, or anything that is in heaven above, or that is on the earth beneath, or that is in water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them, for I am the Lord your God. I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the 3rd and 4th generation of those who hate me, but showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Observe the Sabbath day to keep it holy, as the Lord your God commanded you. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath to the Lord your God, and only you shall not do any work. You and your son and your daughter, or your male servant, or your female servant, also your donkey, or any of your livestock, or the sojourner who is within your gates, and your male servant and your female servant may rest as well as you. You shall remember that you were asleep in the land of Egypt, and the Lord your God brought you out from there with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm. Therefore the Lord your God commanded you to keep the Sabbath day. When you father and your mother, the Lord your God commanded you, and that your days may be long, and you may go well with you in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, and you shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor, and you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, and you shall not desire your neighbor's house, his field, or male servant, or his female servant, his ox, or his donkey, or anything that is your neighbor's. These words the Lord spake to all your assembly at the mountain out of the midst of the fire, the cloud, and the thick darkness with a loud voice. And he added no more. And he wrote on the 2 tablets of stone and gave them to you. And as soon as you heard the voice out of the midst of the darkness, while the mountain was burning with fire, you came near to me, all the heads of your tribes and your elders. And he said, Behold, the Lord our God has shown us his glory and greatness. We have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire. And this day we have seen God speak with man, and man shall still live. Now therefore why should we die? And this great fire will consume us. And if we hear the voice of the Lord our God anymore, we shall die, for who is there of all flesh has heard the voice of the living God speaking out of the midst of fire, as we have, and has still lived. Go near and hear all that the Lord our God will say, and speak to us all that the Lord our God will speak to you, and we will hear and do it. And the Lord heard your words, and when you spoke to me, and the Lord said to me, I have heard the words of the people which they have spoken to you. They are right in all that they have spoken. I know that they had such a heart as this voice. Fear me and to keep all my commandments, that it might go well with them and with their descendants forever. Go and say to them, return to your tents, that you stand here by me, and I will tell you the whole commandment, and you statutes and the rules. And you shall teach them, that they may do them in the land I am giving them to possess. Shall be careful therefore to do as the Lord your God has commanded you. Shall not turn aside to the right or to the left. Shall walk in all the ways that the Lord your God has commanded you, that you may live, and that it may go well with you, and that you may live long in the land that you shall possess. Now this is the commandment, the statutes and the rules that which the Lord your God commanded me to teach you, that you may do them in the land to which you are going over to possess it, that you may fear the Lord your God, you and your son's son, by keeping all his statutes and his commandments, which I command you all the days of your life, and that your days may be long. Hear therefore, Israel, and be careful to do them, that it may go well with you, that you may multiply greatly, as the Lord, the God of your fathers, has promised you, in a land flowing with milk and honey. Hear, Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. And these words that I command you today shall be on your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and you shall talk with them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise. You shall bind them as a sign in your hand, and they shall be as frontlets which you eye. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. And when the Lord your God brings you into the land that he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give you, with great and good cities that you do not build, and houses full of all good things that you do not fill, and cisterns that you do not dig, and vineyards and olive trees that you do not plant, when you eat enough of them, take care lest you forget the Lord who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. It is the Lord your God, you shall fear him, you shall serve him by his name, you shall swear. You shall not go after other gods, the gods of the people who are around you. And the Lord your God is in your midst, is a jealous God, lest the anger of the Lord your God be kindled against you, and he destroy you from off the face of the earth. You shall not put the Lord your God to your test, and as you tested him in Massa. You shall diligently keep the commandments of the Lord your God, and his testimonies and his statutes which he has commanded you. And you shall do what is right and good in the sight of the Lord, that it may go well with you, and that you may go and take possession of the good land that the Lord swore. Yet the Lord swore to give to your fathers, and thrusting out all your enemies from before you, as the Lord has promised. And then your son asked you in time to come, what is the meaning of the testimonies and the statutes and the rules that the Lord your God has commanded you? And you shall say to your son, your Pharaoh slaves in Egypt, and the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. And the Lord shows signs and wonders great and grievous against Egypt and against Pharaoh and all his household before our eyes, and he brought us out from there, that he might bring us in and give us the land that he swore to give to our fathers. And as the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Lord our God, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive, as we are this day, and it will be righteousness for us, if we are careful to do all this commandment before the Lord our God, as he has commanded us. And the Lord your God brings you into the land that you are entering to take possession of it, and he clears away many nations before you. And he unites the Gergashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, 7 nations more numerous and mightier than you. And the Lord gives them over to you, and you defeat them, and you are to divide them to complete destruction. You shall make no covenant with them, and show no mercy to them. You shall not intermarry with them, giving your daughters to their sons, or taking their daughters for your sons. That they will turn away from your sons from following me, to serve other gods, and the anger of the Lord will be kindled against you, and he will destroy you quickly. And thus you shall deal with it. You shall break down their altars, and dash in pieces their pillars, and chop down their ashes, and burn their carved images with fire. For you are a people holy to the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you to be a people for his treasured possession. Out of all the peoples who are on the face of the earth, it was not because you are more in number than any of the other people, that the Lord says love on you and choose you. You are the fiercest of all people. It is because the Lord loves you, and is keeping the oath he swore to your fathers, that the Lord has brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you from the house of slavery, from the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt. Know therefore that the Lord your God is God, and a faithful God who keeps covenant and steadfast love with those who love him and keep his commandments. To 1,000 generations, and repays to their face those who hate him, and destroying them. He will not be slack with one who hates them. He will repay him to the face. You shall therefore be careful to do the commandment and the statutes and the rules that I command you to. And because you listen to these rules and keep and do them, and the Lord your God will keep with you the covenant and the steadfast love that he swore to your fathers. He will love you, bless you, and multiply. He will also bless the fruit of your womb and the fruit of your grain and your wine and your oil, the increase of your herds, the young of your flock, and the land he swore to your fathers to give you. You shall be blessed above all peoples. There shall not be male or female barren among you, or among your livestock. And the Lord will take away from you all sickness, and none of the evil diseases of Egypt which in your will inflict on you. He will lay them on all who hate you. You shall consume all people, as the Lord your God will give over to you. Your eyes shall not be eaten, and neither shall you serve their God, and that will be a snare to you. If you say in your heart, these nations are greater than I, how can I dispossess them? You shall not be afraid of them, but you shall remember what the Lord your God did to Pharaoh and to all Egypt. A great child had your eyes, saw the signs, the wonders, and the mighty hand and the outstretched arm by which the Lord your God brought you out. So the Lord your God could do to all the peoples of whom you are afraid. Wherever the Lord your God will send hornets among them, until those who are left behind themselves from you are destroyed. You shall not be in dread of them, but for the Lord your God is in your midst. The great and awesome God, the Lord your God, will clear away these nations before you little by little. You may not make an end of them at once, lest the law be scourged in his way. As the Lord your God will give them over to you and throw them into great confusion, until they are destroyed, and you will give their kings into your hand, and you shall make their name perish from under heaven. No one shall be able to stand against you until you destroy them. Carved images of their gods you shall burn with fire. You shall not covet the silver or the gold that is on them, and take it for yourselves, lest you be ensnared by it, for it is an abomination unto the Lord your God. You shall not bring an abominable thing into your house, and become devoted to destruction like it. You shall only detest and abhor it, for it is devoted to destruction. The whole commandment that I command you today shall be careful to do, that you may live and multiply, to go and possess the land that the Lord swore to give to your fathers. And you shall remember the whole way that the Lord your God has led you these 40 years in the wilderness, that he may help you, testing you to know what was in your heart, whether you would keep his commandment or not. And he humbled you and fed you with hunger, and fed you with manna, and that ye hunger fed you with manna, which you did not know, nor did your fathers know, that he might make you know that man does not live by bread alone, but man lives by every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord. Your clothing did not wear out on you, or your foot did not swell these 40 years. Know then in your heart that as a man disciplines his son, the Lord your God disciplines you. So you shall keep the commandments of the Lord your God by walking in his ways, and by fearing him, for the Lord your God is bringing you into a good land, a land of brooks of water, fountains and streams flowing out in the valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley, of wines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive trees and honey, a land in which you will eat bread without scarcity, in which you will lack nothing, a land whose stones are iron, and out of the hills you can dig copper. You shall eat and be full, and you shall bless the Lord your God for the good land he has given you. Take care lest you forget the Lord your God by not keeping his commandments and his rules and his statutes, which I command you today, lest when you have eaten and are full and have built good houses, and live in the land, and your herds and flocks multiply, and your silver and gold multiply, and all that you have is multiplied, and your heart will be lifted up, and you forget the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery, and led you through the great and terrifying wilderness, with fire, serpent, and scorpions, and in thirsty ground where there was no water, who brought you water out of the flinty rock, who fed you in the wilderness with manna that your fathers did not know, that he might humble you and test you, to do good in the end. But beware lest you say in your heart, my power and the mighty of my hand has God me this well. You shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth, that he may confirm his covenant that he swore to your fathers, as it is this day. And if you forget the Lord your God, and go after other gods and serve them and worship them, I solemnly warn you today that you shall surely perish, like the nations that the Lord makes to perish before you. So you shall perish, because you will not obey the voice of the Lord your God. Proverbs 8. Does not wisdom call, does not understanding raise a voice? On the heights beside the way, at the crossroads she takes a stand, in the gates in front of the town, and then the portal she cries aloud. To you men I call, and my cries to the children of men, I simple and learn prudence, I always learn sense here, for I'll speak noble things. From my lips will come what is wrong, from my mouth welded truth, wickedness and abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are righteous, there is nothing twisted or crooked in them. They all straight to him who understands, and right to those who find knowledge. Take my instructions instead of silver and knowledge rather than choice gold. Wisdom is better than jewels, and all that you desire cannot compare with it. I wisdom dwell with prudence, and I find knowledge and discretion. Fear of the Lord is hatred of you, pride and arrogance the way of evil, with regard to speech I have. I have counsel and sound wisdom by arrogance, I have strength by meekness, and rules decree what is just. I am business rule, and nobles only govern justly. I love those who seek me, and those who seek me diligently find me. Petitions and honor are with me, and joy and wealth and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, even fine gold. My yield than choice silver. I walk in the way of righteousness and paths of justice, granting an inheritance to those who love me, filling their treasures. The Lord possessed me at the beginning of his work, and at the first of his acts of war. The ages of the ground set up at the first, before the beginning of the earth. Where there were no depths, I was brought forth, and there were no springs abounding with water. Before the mountains had been shaped, before the hills I was brought forth. Before he made the earth with its fuel, and all the first of the dust of the world. When he established the heavens, I was there. When he drew a circle on the face of the deep. When he made firm the skies above. When he established the fountains of the deep. When he assigned to the sea its limit, so that the waters might not transgress his command. When he marked out the foundations of the earth. Then I was beside him like a master workman. And I was daily his delight, rejoicing before him always. Rejoicing in his inhabited world, and delighting in the children of men. Now our sons listen to me. Blessed are those who keep my ways. He instructs them to be wise, and do not neglect them. Blessed is the one who listens to me, watching daylight my gates, waiting beside my doors. Whoever finds me finds life and obtains favor from the Lord. He fears to find me injures himself. All who hate me love death. Psalm 135. Praise the Lord, praise the name of the Lord. Give praise to servants of the Lord who stand in the house of God. Praise the Lord, for the Lord is good. Sing to his name, for it is pleasant. For the Lord has chosen Jacob for himself. His eye has his own possession. For I know that the Lord is great, and that the Lord is above all gods. Whatever the Lord pleases, he does in heaven and earth. In season or deep seasons, he it is who makes the clouds rise at the end of the earth. He makes lightnings for the rain, and brings forth the wind from the storehouses. He it was who struck down the firstborn of Egypt. By the man of peace, who is in your midst, O Egypt, sent signs and wonders against Pharaoh and all the servants, and who struck down many nations, killed many kings, Simon, king of the Amorites, and Og, king of Bashan, and all the kingdoms of Canaan, and gave their land as a heritage to his people Israel. Your name, O Lord, endures forever. Your renown, O Lord, throughout all ages. The Lord will vindicate his people and have compassion on his servants. I understand the nations of silver and gold. The work of human hands, they have mouths, but do not speak. They have eyes, but do not see. They have ears, but do not hear. Nor is there any breath in their mouths. Those who make them become like them. So the Lord trust them. I say Israel, bless the Lord. House of Aaron, bless the Lord. House of Levi, bless the Lord. You fear the Lord, bless the Lord. Blessed be the Lord from Zion. Ye dwells in Jerusalem. Praise the Lord. Now the Son, I should not do the Lord's prayer. Place my heads, Father in heaven. Now that be our name. Your kingdom come. Your way down on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. And give us like upstays, yours if kill our debtors. He is not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.